Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Monday, the very first day of June. We are excited to have you. We have a fun panel for today, and just want to give you guys a little bit of an update and some details. Today, we actually started our new June webinar series with our new sponsor for the month, and that is Comcast. So want to do a huge shout out and a big thank you to Julianne Ferris, Kyle and team with Comcast. They have been such a partner of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber over the years. I wish we're going to have to spend a whole hour with them later in the month just to see if we can list everything that they've done to support not just our initiatives, but small business initiatives in the community. It's been pretty exciting to have them as a partner. So we are very privileged and lucky to have them as part of our webinar this whole month, actually. So every Monday, Wednesday, please tune in to either our Facebook channel, or if you need to do Zoom via Zoom, you can click the link in the registrations that we put up on our community calendar so that you can see all the great topics. This month is Business Economic Recovery Month, and we're going to spend the time getting out information to our small businesses, many different topics, everything from marketing to nonprofits to data and analysis and everything you might need to get ready to reopen. Today is reopening day in New Mexico and Albuquerque, so we're going to touch on that a little bit. But I just want to let everybody know, I wanted to give a shout out to Comcast and thank you for this whole month. We'll be working with Comcast quite a bit. Also want to give a shout out to New Mexico Tech, who are our little elves behind the scenes, and they are the ones that are always helping with our technology and everything that we do, along with our very own Angelique. So super excited that they are a part of our team here at the Hispano Chamber. So lots going on this week, guys. New month, new initiatives, and we're going to be all over the place. But today we want to focus on one topic because that is a huge topic for us, and that is going to be small business economic recovery. And this week we have a lot going on in the effort to support that. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be handing out personal protective equipment, PPE, as it's been called over the last few months, to 1,000 small businesses that register. So before we get started and talk all about what to expect over the next 3 days, leading us up to Thursday's big giveaway, wanted to introduce our panel, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about who they are, who their business is, and we're going to get into how they are partnering with the Chamber. So I'm going to start with Miss Mary.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Martinez, and I'm the owner of Home Instead Senior Care here in Albuquerque. Since we are an essential business, since we provide care to vulnerable seniors in our community, we were not one of the folks that had to close down. So we did have a struggle as far as, switching gears immediately and staying on top of things. So I think our experience is going to be helpful to you. As far as how we're helping the Chamber, we'll be helping stuff bags, and we're providing 2-ounce bottles for the hand sanitizers. So, and then I'm excited because I get to be there and help hand out bags on Thursday.
Yes. Thank you, Mary. Mary is also the current chair of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber Board. So we've had a fantastic 2020, although the last 3 months have been rough, but Mary's been with us for many years. So we appreciate your leadership and more than anything, your incredible generosity. So thank you, Mary, and welcome to the panel today.
Welcome, thank you.
So we're gonna switch over to my right side and introduce Mr. Johannes. So we're gonna have you talk all about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, you guys. Yeah, my name is Johannes Chimwena. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Inverse Medical here in New Mexico. And essentially what we do is we provide medical devices, equipment, and supplies to organizations in the healthcare space, as well as the business community, as well as patients from a post-acute standpoint. So we're happy to play a substantial role in the last 3 months of the COVID-19 environment that we've all been a part of in one way. So I'm happy to support the Hispano Chamber of Commerce in any way we can.
So we are, we're just incredibly thankful. And we're going to get into the specifics as to what you guys are doing in particular, but let's kind of set the stage a little bit so that everybody that's watching can understand. First and foremost, this is a partnership that came to us. Last month, we were still in crisis mode, and we were working with a lot of people throughout the month to try to make sure that we were garnering all of the information that we needed to make sure that we're getting the right information out. And Clarissa Pena, who is a city council woman here, reached out, and we worked with her over the last couple of weeks to come up with this plan. The plan is basically, as businesses start to open, a lot of them have been closed for 3 months. And like Mary said, some businesses were essential and did not close, but the majority of our small locally owned businesses did close. And so they are now getting ready to open. And because of guidelines that have been put forth for the safety of all the community and all the public, they are now having to foot the bill for everything from masks to gloves to, whatever it may be that you need to follow to make sure that your business can stay open and follow those guidelines. So we did a collaborative partnership with Clarissa Pena's office, and then we reached out. We decided what were some of those essentials, and some of those essentials were masks, gloves, sanitizer, thermometers, other goodies that we could put in the bag. And so we did that reach out, and we were able to pull together, I would say, a pretty good group of partners to be able to provide these bags. So here's how it's going to work. We have 1,000 bags to give away. And quite simply, it's going to be to the first 1,000 that register on the link that I believe we are going to post in this broadcast, as well as it is on our website, as well as it was emailed out last week. So if you did not get the email and you would like to know more information, please put your email into the Facebook Live post, and we'll make sure and take a note of that and get that out to you. But most importantly, we're going to post that link here on this live feed, and you must register. That's number one and foremost. Businesses under 5 employees will qualify. So you need to verify that you are under 5 employees. Now, here's some specifics. If you are going to be one of the ones that is picking up the bag, you need to bring proof of your registration. It could be on your phone that says, here's the email, congratulations, you've registered. You could print it out and bring it. If you do not register, you will be asked to set aside, fill out the registration, and get back in line. So I want to make that very clear, because we're going to have a kind of a drive-through, if you will, pickup to follow social distancing guidelines. And so we'll need to keep the traffic moving. So I just want to get that out there. I'm going to say it several times. Pre-register, your name will get checked off a list, and then you'll be allowed to come through the drive-through and pick it up. And before the end of this hour, we'll talk about what that line is going to look like. So that's really important. Registration, number one. Number two, these bags will have certain items in them. And again, it's what was donated thanks to our sponsors, thanks to our partners. So these are not a year's supply. This is about a week's supply to get you through the first week of stuff that you need. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to go into those bags. So first, the big thing is the masks. So we have been so lucky to partner with a company that is out of Chicago that recently donated 10,000 masks to the Navajo Nations. And we reached out and asked if they would be willing to partner with us in this small business initiative. And they said yes. So every bag will get 5 masks. That's enough for 5 or under employees to get you through your first week of business. So I want to say thank you to them. The other thing we talked about was sanitizer. Now, Mary brought that up a little bit, and we found out through the grapevine. We talk to Mary every day, and we accidentally found out through the grapevine that Mary had a connection to be able to get some bottles, because we've been generously donated sanitizer from New Mexico Tech, and we needed to find a way to put that in. So Mary, tell us a little bit about that. I know you were able to reach out, and I believe the bottles are on their way.
Yes. Soon as you all gave me the message of what you were looking for, I got online with my supplier and ordered as many bottles as I was allowed to order. They had been capping me before, but now they kind of open the gates a little bit now that it's leveled off. But they're small 2-ounce bottles. I have one right here, and we have them filled with a solution for hand sanitizer, but they're the perfect size. They'll fit in your pocket, and or you can leave them on the counter and they're handy. But you know, being in my industry, and Johannes, you probably have the same kind of luck. If you are considered essential and in the medical industry, you did have access for ordering those types of things. So I was happy to be able to do that, and I've been helping Carlos with New Mexico Tech. So he was very aware of the bottle funnel that we were able to create.
I like that bottle funnel, because that's really what we were trying to do. And so with that being said, when we first started this reach out, we reached out to a really good member, a really good partner here at the Chamber, and that is Alfredo, Lisa, and team at Sombra USA. Now, they have been incredibly supportive over the years. For those of you that don't know what Sombra does, they actually, their big number one product, I guess you could say, is their Sornomore. It is a analgesic type ointment, so sore muscles, aches and pains. And so if you've ever participated in one of our golf tournaments, you usually get the Sornomore packets in your bag. And so this go round, something a little bit different, we reached out. And the reason that we reached out is because they will also be putting in a 2-ounce bottle of sanitizer. So that should be helpful to get started your first week, a couple of employees. It's very important that those, your employees are safe, as well as your clients, but a lot of them will come in with their own sanitizers. So we thought that those bottles will really help inside. Like Mary said, if it's on your desk or you carry it, but at least you have that available to you to use often. I use mine all the time. I even when I get into my car, I just do it, and I do my steering wheel and my door handle, because you just never know. So, and I've always used sanitizer. Have you guys? I've always used it. Yeah, so nothing new there. So I want to say thank you to Sombra USA and Lisa for doing that. They're also going to be putting samples of their Sornomore, and they're also going to be donating the bags that we're going to be putting everything into. So huge, I guess you could say, partners and sponsors of this, so we appreciate them. So then we started thinking, what else needs to go into the bag? So we reached out, we got some gloves coming in, CNM has donated some items. And, one of the things is everybody's been talking about this temperature and how do you, what are the first signs of COVID and all of this stuff. So through a connection of a connection, Ernie was able to reach out to Johannes. So Johannes, tell us a little bit about the conversation, and then I want for you to share with us what your company is going to be doing, putting in the bags.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Through a partner to a partner and a relationship to another relationship, kind of extended into Ernie Baca's world that he lives in with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, and we connected and realized that, hey, there's a direct channel here that we can support the entire business community that's associated with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. So yes, thermometers are these no-touch or non-contact thermometers that can read a patient's temperature, without touching them, which is part of the COVID safe practices. So we're happy to donate 500 no contact thermometers to the Hispano Chamber of Commerce.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That is going to be really exciting, and we were a little bit in shock because that is a huge donation. For any of you that have already been online and you've already looked to see how much do these no contact thermometers cost, and yeah, we're so thankful. We can't say enough to that. It's going to be a great way for small businesses to test their employees when they come in and be safe while doing it. And so it's an important piece of equipment that's going into the bag. So we want to say thank you so much to Inverse Medical. We appreciate you guys so much for doing that. We really, really, I don't know what to say. We're just really, really excited. So let's see. I think one thing that I wanted to do is, as a matter of fact, is Angelique, are you out there? Can you hear me? Anyone? Anybody?
Bueller.
Well, I'll keep reaching out for Angelique. She is our little helper, and we have Danielle from New Mexico Tech that is trying to log on. So I'm going to have her help her out with that. So that's a little bit about what's going to be in the bags, but I want to talk about some of the other stuff that ended up coming forward when we get outside of those little PPE essentials. You know, as we reached out, we sent out a press release, and that press release is probably all over. I believe it's probably on social media. I know it went out in email last week. I know it's all over media because we've had the calls. But in there, we asked for businesses that could, you know, that didn't necessarily suffer during COVID, that had the ability to be able to support the small business ecosystem and the efforts that we're doing in the community. And we asked them if they had anything that they could add to the bag. And there's so many businesses that reached out. Now, this is not all essentials, but it's a little perk for small businesses to be able to support other small businesses. So I'd like to recognize that. And before I get started, Angelique, are you out there anywhere yet? Angelique?
Yes, ma'am. What do you need?
I'm trying to get Danielle Turner from New Mexico Tech on. Is there a way that you could forward her the link to get onto Zoom? She'll be.
I'll try to do that right now.
Oh, thank you, Dylan. Do you have her email?
Can you put her email into the chat, and then I'll send it directly to her?
Okay, thank you guys. Let me see if I can copy that. This is the beauty of doing things live. I will go into my email here and come down here. Okay, Dylan, I just am hitting send to you in the chat, and we would love to be joined by Danielle, because I think they've been such a great partner. Okay, it's been sent. Thank you guys so much. So I wanted to talk about when we did this reach out, we had a lot of businesses reach out and say, well, you know what, I'd love to support. What can I do? What are some of the things we can give? So we just kind of talked to the businesses individually and see what they had to offer. Some businesses were so passionate because they were lucky enough to either not be so hit by COVID or stay open during COVID, or they had the financial means to close and not be, you know, hurt by it. And so we want to give some of those shout outs to some of those businesses. First of all, Pepsi has a big surprise for everybody in store on Thursday. So we're actually going to have a Rockstar station, and they're going to be giving away different products. And, you know, when I reached out or when I had my conversation with Joe Karras with our local Pepsi distributor, he said to me, he says, you know, we want to do this because local small businesses have been rock stars through this whole thing. They're weathering the storm. They're doing everything that they can. And so we think that they deserve a rock star. So we're pretty excited. We'll have a little rock star station for all the businesses that drive through. And again, products that will be given out in 6-pack form. So want to say thank you big time to Pepsi for supporting the cause. Also want to say thank you to Garcia's restaurant. Garcia's, who, you know, quickly, like Mary said, you go into action and you think about how can I weather the storm? What can we do? And they made so many changes, quick changes to be able to stay open and keep their staff. And they reached out and said, we'd like to provide some gift certificates to put in the bags. And so we don't know what those look like yet, but I did get the call this morning that they are delivering those today. And so, you know, it might be a buy one, get one free. It might be a free this or that. I don't know. But again, a little support for those small businesses that are opening this week. Also want to give a huge shout out to Maria and Jim Derniker, owners of True Rest Float Spa, who brought us 1,000 coupons for True Rest. That is amazing. We're doing a big program with them this month called Float the Front Lines, where they're going to be giving away, you know, well over 100 free floats to first responders and frontline workers. Pretty amazing that a small business is supporting the community in the way they are. And, you know, when they were closed, they did not sit at home and sit back. They actually put back on their nursing garb, if you will, because they're in the medical field prior to opening their small business and went right back to work to help with the COVID pandemic. So thank you to them so much. It's huge partners here at the Chamber. We appreciate you guys beyond. So thank you. Also, Southwest Steamers. Now, this is what's interesting. Jason Fresquez. He also reached out. He has a great program right now. They're doing like incredible pricing. I don't know, half price or whatever it is. I don't know all the details. The flyers will be in the bags, but they have this really cool, unique way that they go and spray. And I believe the spray kind of like dissipates when it hits the counters and the surfaces, but it kills everything. So if you're a business and you just opened or you're about to open, you might give him a call and talk about that, because I know it's not an intensive thing. I know it's quick and I know it's effective. And so it'd be really cool to keep your places clean a couple of times a year. And of course, now when we're open. So thank you so much to Jason. Also want to say thank you to Comcast. Not only are they sponsoring us this month, but they're going to be putting some swag in the bag. And so we thank them. And they also have some specials for small businesses. And Twisters as well. Twisters has been a great partner this month. And so we want to say thank you to Twisters. They're going to also be putting coupons in the bag. So lots of fun stuff, and we're still getting stuff in all day long. I've been seeing cars come in and out and dropping items. So we're excited. The bags will be a whole lot of fun, as well as essentials. So speaking of essentials, I want to hop over to Johannes, and I want to talk to you a little bit about your company, your business. And, you know, obviously COVID has changed the world. And so talk to us a little bit about what are some of the PPE products that are essential. Tell us about the guidelines that you're following, and then some of your products, and are they sold in bulk? Are they sold to the individual? And let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Inverse Medical, we started in 2012 when I founded the company, and as part of that initial process, we were started with the medical device implant business, which essentially was providing implantable medical devices to the hospitals and the surgery centers and the surgeons to implant patients with a variety of different devices that they needed to support the patients that they were operating on. And as part of that process, we started kind of morphing into more and more products that there was a gap in the healthcare system. So we found ourselves in a position to start working directly with patients with equipment and supplies, and then working with insurance companies to make sure that those services or supplies were provided to those patients in a timely manner. So that's kind of started to morph into more and more products that we've supported the community, not just only in New Mexico, but portions of Arizona, Colorado, and Texas. So as it sits today, we are a full medical device and supply company, not only working with hospitals, healthcare providers, nursing associations, and other facilities, but also government agencies and businesses. As the COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic started to begin, we started receiving a lot of requests for items of disinfectant sprays and wipes and a variety of different items that we didn't store as much inventory as we would have initially wanted to, considering the environment we're in, to try to meet the demand. But what has allowed us to support the community on a greater scale is we're not hand-tied to allocation for businesses. So whether you need 2 items or you need 200,000 items, we can support those needs depending on what the need might actually be in terms of the request. So today we are able to supply not only your personal protective equipment, but also medical devices in the respiratory space like CPAPs and wheelchairs, walkers, and canes, but also supplies and devices that are needed in the hospital environment, such as the cardiac cath lab or the operating room or your general nursing floors, as well as your clinics and doctor's offices. I'm sorry, you're muted, Shannon.
I still forget all the time. I'm like, I get through a whole sentence before I realize. What has been the biggest request that you have had, and what are the types of companies that you're selling in bulk to?
A lot of the requests came from state agencies, but not only state agencies, a lot of hospitals, healthcare facilities, even dentist offices all have a need. So initially, if you think about it, you take a step back, our our world hasn't been ready for everyone to have a mask, or everybody to have additional levels of hand sanitizers and different disinfectant sprays and wipes to keep areas extra clean than the steps they were taking before. So we have received a lot of requests for things of obviously your mask, because we really can't keep those in supply. It seems like when they come in, they pretty much leave same day. But also, gowns, coveralls, gloves is a huge need right now. You look at New Mexico, and we're so rural that the Native American population has seen an influx of COVID cases. So we're really trying to prioritize, clearly the healthcare environment, but also as businesses start to come back, on their feet, we're trying to make sure that they are seen as someone who needs, or a group that needs supply. So we're trying to create that direct channel, and working with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce gives us the ability to meet their needs.
So Mary, you've been in the healthcare field, that's your business,
Yeah.
In particular in senior care, but in medical in general. So what is really, for you, what has really changed? I'm sure it's a more intense situation than it was before, but tell us a little bit about what's happening in the world of senior care and what you guys have done to adjust to COVID in such a short amount of time.
Well, the ripple was immediate and huge. Day one was that shutdown. So I had to, at that moment, decide who was going to stay on in the office, who was going to telecommute, how that was going to look, set people up with systems that were going to work. At the same time, figure out our sanitization process. Where were we going to get gloves and masks and sanitizer overnight? I mean, we needed to get the supplies immediately. Our usual providers had already been wiped out. So we started, digging in grass rooting, and finally found a provider. I think it was actually in North Carolina. And
Mary, meet Johannes. Johannes, meet Mary.
Yes, I'm going to get your contact information, because this is going to be an ongoing thing for us. But all of this stuff had to happen like within hours and get the ball rolling. And I had to educate 120 caregivers overnight on what their new protocols were going to be, what their new care rules were going to be, on the spacing with clients. And if you had a client who was hard of hearing and you're wearing a mask, what do you do with that? I mean, it was instant. It was overnight. We had to prioritize, and it was every boot on the ground. Everybody had an assignment. You need to make sure this happens. You need to make sure that happens. So, really figure out who your team leads are, give them an assignment and trust them to get it done, because you can't do everything. That's the thing I would say to business owners is really don't try to do everything, because you won't get it right if you're trying to do it all by yourself. So I mean, we learned how to resource very quickly, and we've been blessed to the point where we were able to get extra supplies to be able to donate back out into the community.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment for everybody, but I can imagine when working with the most vulnerable of COVID, which is our seniors, that you guys had to put some really strict policies in place and do a quick pivot, as people say. I hate that word, but that's literally.
Well, I've beat that word to death.
A straight line, and then you're going to the left or the right, like in no time at all. This whole concept around pivoting is what it has been. So how are your healthcare workers? What are they doing different today than they were, say, 3 months ago?
Well, daily, pretty much, we have people come to the building for supplies, but they can't come in. So they'll call us and they'll say, I need small gloves and 5 masks or whatever it is they need. And then we walk it out to them. We have bins right inside the front door now. We walk it out to them, log notes, whatever it is they need. So they're always provided those supplies, but what they also do is they clock in virtually. And on the clock in, it asks them a bunch of questions that basically asks their health status. And if they have any of these symptoms, they're to hit a certain number, and it goes back to the on-call manager. And we decide if we need to go ahead and pull them off of that shift and have somebody else cover it until we can confirm that they're okay to go. In the home, they walk in the door, wash their hands before they do anything else, greet their client or anything. Anytime they're doing up close personal care, they have to have their masks on. They go with plenty of pairs of gloves, so they're constantly going through gloves. We've provided a lot of cloth masks, though they have reusable masks, which has been really helpful. But it's a lot of times there's questions they have that they're not really sure about, so our phones ring a lot just answering questions.
Wow. Yeah. It's like everybody's had to develop an FAQ all of a sudden because, there's so many questions out there. And sometimes I feel like we just can't answer all of them. And even though some are redundant, some are the same, it's everybody has a unique experience, around COVID and the importance of being safe and staying safe in our community. So I don't know if Danielle can hear us. I can see she's on the screen, but I don't know if she can hear us and we can't see her. Danielle, and I don't have, there you are.
I'm here, I can hear you, yes.
Wonderful. Well, welcome and thank you for joining us from New Mexico Tech. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, so as you said, I'm from New Mexico Tech. I've been at Tech for 9 years. I did my bachelor's, master's, and PhD. Right now I'm doing a postdoc. And that is turned into making and supplying hand sanitizer throughout New Mexico. So that's my current focus.
Wow. And one thing that we said right at the beginning of this, at the start of the webinar, was that New Mexico Tech has been instrumental over the last, I'd say, 3 months now in helping to support this webinar effort into the community and making sure that we get all of the information out. So first and foremost, the technology that they have brought to help us out and let us use and work with their platform has been really, really nice. So thank you to New Mexico Tech. But we recently learned about all the different projects. So Danielle, can you share with us a little bit about some of those projects? Talk to us about the sanitizer. I know you guys are doing masks. What are some of the stuff that New Mexico Tech is doing during this time?
Right. So the our projects on this COVID preparedness front started with making hand sanitizer. It really started when my mentor and I noticed a recipe for World Health Organization hand sanitizer online and said, hey, we have the ingredients, let's do it for New Mexico Tech and Socorro community. And then President Wells got wind of that and asked if we could expand our efforts. And here we are. We've donated to 15 different counties throughout New Mexico and 4 different communities to Native Americans in Arizona. Our Emmertech folks, who are also instrumental in this, the Explosive Center, have procured the ingredients for us, but they have also been making 3D printed face shields. So we're working on that, and I know Liam O'Brien is on this as well. He is also working on printing face shields and donating them. And at more of a community level, we have in biology department, which is where a lot of this stems, our departmental specialist, Vanessa Quinones, has been making different cloth face masks made of a really good impenetrable material that blocks quite a few particles and donating throughout the community. We are currently making another form of those face masks to deliver to every graduate student that returns to New Mexico Tech this summer. And so our focus is just to keep everyone safe and to do what we can to help our community and the state of New Mexico as well.
Well, I'm sure Mary can second this, and I'd love her to say something. We've been privileged to have Carlos on our board, but there's not enough words to say the partnership and the thank you to you, Danielle, your team, and what has been going on with New Mexico Tech. Miss Mary, please.
It's been really great. Carlos reached out to me. I think we were talking about it at a board meeting, and he mentioned needing bottles. And so I told him, I said, I might have a hookup for you. So we chatted, and I was able to get him 200 bottles at a time. So I started piggybacking my orders so that they would just continuously come in. And whenever he was in the neighborhood, he'd come by and pick up boxes of bottles, and he would tell me, I need this many more, I need this many more, we're aiming for this number. And so I'm like, I'll shoot out whatever I can. And then reached out also to Mike at Adelante, because he mentioned he might be able to get some bottles. So it just sort of rippled out from there. And I know that those bottles went out to really remote areas that really, really needed it. they were getting missed in earlier runs. So tech was really great about catching those folks up and getting them what they needed.
Thank you for getting those bottles. Yeah, the bottles have been instrumental. So thank you for
I've got
helping
another
with
order
that as
coming
well.
your way.
They're perfect.
So, well, that really just shows the power of collaboration, the power of connection. And I think what's exciting, Carlos sits on our board as well here at the Hispano Chamber with Mary. And, would those connections have ever happened if they weren't sitting on Zoom calls and in boardrooms together over the past few years? I mean, it's pretty incredible that the people that have teamed up with each other that didn't even really maybe have too much in common business-wise prior to COVID. It's pretty incredible the things that people are doing out there. So again, a big thank you to Home Instead Senior Care and New Mexico Tech. We appreciate that. So I want to just update before we start to wind down here a little bit, what is happening this week with the Hispano Chamber and all of the partners out there. To recap, in partnership with Clarissa Pena, Councilwoman, City Councilwoman, Clarissa Pena's office, we have pulled together an incredible list of partners, including Sombra USA, including New Mexico Tech, Home Instead Senior Care, Inverse Medical, and our partners at KRQE Media Group as well. We came together and decided what could we do to pull off some bags maybe, never thinking that it would be as big as it was, but the need was huge, the need was great. And so we've, together with these partners, we've been able to pull together masks, gloves, thermometers, sanitizer, and some other stuff that is probably not in my head right now. And then outside of that, some treats and goodies, some little extra bonuses from local businesses that we're able to support in some way, shape, or form. So we do appreciate that quite a bit. Those bags are getting stuffed tomorrow. Thank you to our incredible volunteers, the Duke City Gladiators, who have been an incredible partner over the last couple of months with our Feed the Front Lines program. And our other friends and partners, the New Mexico Runners, who have a great soccer league, soccer program, and I hope that you can reach out to Andres for more information on that. But Matt and Gina with the Gladiators said whatever we can do to help, this came up. So they're going to be providing volunteers tomorrow to stuff 1,000 bags full of all of this stuff that we've been talking about. Then on Thursday, between 9 and 1, as long as you register. So the link for the registration will be on this webinar, as well as on our website, as well as if you need it sent directly to an email for some reason, you can't copy it, I don't know, whatever could be wrong, let us know and we'll get that to you. Inside that link, you have to register your business. You'll have to bring proof of that registration, either the email that you registered, whatever it may be, to let us know you did that. What's going to happen is we're going to form a line going south on 4th Street in front of the Hispano Chamber, and they will pass the building just slightly to that little triangular park, and then they'll turn west around the park onto the back side of the Chamber campus. You'll be asked to see your registration, and then you'll be checked off the list because we'll have a matching list for those businesses that have registered. And then from there, you will be in line to go through to get your bag, to get the Gladiators are going to be here giving away stuff. We have stuff from Comcast, we have stuff from Pepsi. So we have a lot of stuff, little stations that you'll drive through, but the bag will be the main one, the first one that you get. And so nobody has to get off. We'll practice our social distancing. Everybody will be wearing gloves and all that fun stuff. But we just want to let you guys know we'll keep it running and we'll keep it controlled. So please register. That's the best way to do this. So in a nutshell, there is a whole lot going on here this week between collecting items and packaging. Also want to say I just got a text in that Ambitions Printing Group, their business solutions, they are a big sponsor for the gala every year. They take care of all of our printing, is donating swag and also big coupons for people. If you need open signs, if you need new hours printed on your signage, signage, whatever you may need. Ambitions is your team. They're amazing. They're located right downtown at the bottom of the Hyatt. They're our partners here at the Chamber, Lucas Rael, Daniel Lovato, and team. We really, really appreciate you guys. So thank you for that. We look forward to your delivery soon as well. So that's a little bit about what's happening on our front here. So before we go, I want to ask the panel, what do you see moving forward? What is it that either you're looking forward to, or what do you see happening with small business in our community, and how else can we support small businesses to reopen? Mary.
Well, honestly, I'm excited. I know everybody's excited. And John, as you mentioned, that op-ed, we're hopeful that people are going to come back on board carefully and wisely. And I know the rest of us are excited to support them coming back online and, celebrate, Albuquerque kind of coming out from under this. I honestly feel like our economy is going to start growing again, and we're going to get past this virus, and people are going to be looking at each other in different ways because we've been through this hardship together. We now have this thing that we have in common. And I think it's brought people closer together. I get a lot of calls from people who really don't know what direction to look when needing care. And I'm often referring them on to other organizations. And I feel like we're collaborating better than we ever have. It's something we've always done, but I'm seeing much more creative collaborations, and I would love to see that continue.
Thank you, Mary. And I was thinking about something when you said that just now. A lot of people were out this weekend. Patios opened on Thursday or what day, and I believe people immediately, needed to be out. But we made a conscious decision over the weekend. We continued the pickup, the carry out, and took it home because of the fact that we still have to be cognizant of those guidelines, and it puts the businesses in an awkward situation when it's too full, and of course they want the business. So we I think for a while we're still going to do our carry out. We're still going to support in that way. I've also learned to order online, which is totally something new for me, and so I think we're all getting a little shot of technology during this time. Johannes, same question. Tell us a little bit about what you see moving forward, and what are some of the efforts that you've done in the community?
Yeah, so, to kind of parlay off of what Mary was mentioning in terms of the excitement of businesses and engaging and getting people to the front doors of these businesses, we anticipate that when businesses have what they need, it gives consumer confidence that they can enter the place of business and know that it's a clean environment. People are compliant with the CDC's guidelines, as well as Governor Lujan Grisham's order to maintain a safe and a comfortable environment for consumers to enter their places of business. And from a home care or healthcare standpoint, I know patients are eager to get in for their elective surgeries and have confidence of entering a doctor's office or a hospital to know that not only do they have the right equipment and supplies, but they also know they're going through the proper steps to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't expand into another environment in which businesses have to close down. So I think as a community, as long as we're all taking those same steps, it gives everybody the comfortable feeling that they can go in and not get sick by entering that place of business. So as we are playing kind of an important role of giving out equipment and supplies to the business community, as well as our healthcare providers, I think we're all taking the steps necessary to get back going to where we were before this COVID-19 kind of hit our community in the way it's impacted all the businesses.
It has hit, and what I think is really amazing is how resilient so many people have been, so many businesses and the community in general, just the community in general, and how they've come together to support those that are really hard hit by COVID. So that's amazing. Danielle, tell us a little bit about what else is upcoming with New Mexico Tech, any other projects you're working on, and again, we can't thank you enough for your generous donation with New Mexico Tech.
Well, thank you as well. From what I can tell for our future, we're just going to continue doing what we can to keep these projects going, to support both the healthcare providers and the small business owners who need this PPE or the sanitizer. Yeah, that's what I can see for our future at this point. Just keep it going, keep providing, and keep supporting every which way that we can.
We do appreciate that. I know the small businesses appreciate that, and even that little bit, 2 ounces goes a long way, and it really helps out. It also helps keeping everybody from running to the store to find out that they're sold out first thing in the morning, or so. There's so many different reasons that the donation is so important, and it's not just because it's not costing the small business anything. It's because it's actually keeping people from leaving their homes to go pick up that equipment and that different PPE, because a lot of times you get there and it's sold out. I think we've all been through that over the last 3 months. You needed that one item and you get there and some of the craziest things have been sold out, like green chili. I don't know, but I looked everywhere for Cervantes green chili. It's incredibly crazy. You can't find it anywhere. But it goes to show that, how people are adjusting and purchasing, using grocery stores now more than ever. And so I guess cooking at home is a good thing. You get to spend time with your family, right?
Absolutely.
So before we leave, guys, remember Thursday, starting at 9 in the morning, you must register. You will be checked on the roadside with a clipboard. It's going to be vitally important that you follow that link and you register your business. You bring proof of that registration with you, and then you will be directed to the line in order to pick up all of your goodies. So once again, I want to give a big shout out to Sombra USA, Lisa and team. We really appreciate your donation. It's just an incredibly generous, and we can't say thank you enough. I want to say thank you to Mary Martinez with Home Instead, who is generously donating all of the bottles, and to New Mexico Tech. There's so many people to thank at New Mexico Tech, but the whole team there and their sanitizer project that is really going to be providing support and relief for small businesses this week. So thank you again. Again, Johannes with Inverse Medical. We're excited to work with you. We have a lot more coming up with you, so we're gonna work on that. But we are incredibly thankful for the connection, and I know that those businesses are gonna be thankful for those thermometers, because that is an expense that they don't have to put out of their pocket this week. And being that they've been closed and have not had the ability to purchase that type of equipment, that is really important. So huge heartfelt thank you. I also want to thank Pepsi, Garcia's, True Rest Float Spa, Southwest Steamers, Comcast, Twisters, the New Mexico KRQE News Group, New Mexico CW, whoever else I am forgetting. Thank you guys so much for supporting this effort. Remember, you can call us here at the Chamber, 842-9003. If you have questions, you will have to leave a message. The messages get checked several times throughout the day. But for more specific and immediate, up-to-date information, want to make sure that you tune into www.ahcnm.org, where we post all of this information on our website. The link is also in the community calendar. And of course, stay tuned to our Facebook feed or any social media. We will have the information there. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to our panelists. We cannot wait to see you guys on Thursday. We're so excited to have Albuquerque open again, and we can't wait to see your faces. We've missed all of you. So until Thursday, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great Monday. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. I'll be in touch with you, Johannes.
Okay.